Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
So last few meetings, we kept talking about new stuff and really didn't even get into any old stuff. And
Nope.
since Edward's not here, we might as well continue that.
I had a feeling you wanted to.
I don't really particularly have anything to say about that whole Grok situation. I plan on talking about it a lot anyway on my Deconstructing Islam live streams. And I think it's going to be like, first of all, I already did one whole episode just on that. It's going to be at least 3, 4, 5 more in series. Yeah. There's so much to talk about. I did so much. For people who don't know what I'm saying, if you're watching this, I guess we could talk about it a little bit right now.
Yeah, sure.
Maybe even give links and stuff so people could follow what I'm talking about too.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to say it the shortest way I can first, as like a title of an essay or something, or the title of a scientific paper. Grok teaches the world how to think.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of want to start by, or here, let me put some banners up. Grok teaches the world how to think. Just so people can see something as we're going. Let me also get some links real quick. So I documented, or how do I say that? I sort of summarized everything I've been doing.
Yeah.
And I've been improving that summary based on talking with people who are getting so confused about what I'm saying. It's the most ridiculous confusions, dude. You're going to find it interesting.
Yeah.
Let me post a comment. What do I say? Grok teaches the world how to think, with a link. So that's to my blog post. We don't really do this generally, but it's useful to put out a comment by us that people get to see, help them like at least click on a link of the thing we're looking at, something like that.
Okay.
Let me put on the screen something so I can show everyone. Okay. Let me make this smaller. All right.
So the big part about what you've been working on is trying to get Grok to not only argue correctly, but argue correctly with other people.
Yeah, but let's go much earlier in all this, okay?
Okay.
A lot of how people are getting confused is they kind of notice what I'm saying as the end conclusions.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on. Here's Edward. What's up, Edward?
Good morning, Edward.
Sorry, I'm running a little late. I didn't have the correct link to come in. When I clicked on my link, it sent me to last week's link.
I've done that before, more than once.
So I had to cheat and use my phone's notification.
Edward, we thought to, especially since you weren't here, to start talking about what I've been doing with Grok. It's very related to what we're working on. And actually, I'm trying to get KAOS involved in it directly.
Okay.
So that's the relevance to this. I think it's really huge news. Brian seems to think there's potentially huge news too.
Could be.
Yeah, it could be. I said potentially. That's what could be means.
I've been kind of following it, so.
Yeah, well, you're going to hear, I guess, a good rundown right now. What I was trying to explain just now is what I find people getting confused about is they seem to be latching on to my like end conclusions, which are not even conclusions yet because the fucking test hasn't been ran yet. And they don't see all the iterative tests that happened before that, even though I fucking documented it and said it. and they think I'm crazy. And the most interesting confusion from their part is, so look at this. Too long didn't read. It's like the executive summary of this whole thing. Okay, it starts. I've been training Grok on X. Now here's the first confusion. It's from the third fucking word of this whole fucking thing. They think I mean by training the terminology that is used in AI and machine learning, which is something to, and by the way, I'm a fucking amateur. I don't know shit about this.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give a really basic, stupid, from somebody that doesn't know anything, description of what the word training means in that technical terminology fucking space. What they mean by training is when the creators of something like Grok are making the model, whatever the fuck that means, or they're setting the model weights.
Yeah.
And that's what they mean by training. And the point is, after the creators do that, setting the model weights, and then they let Grok run, or whatever the AI is.
Yeah.
That AI or Grok cannot update it himself, and then other people also can't do it just by talking to him. And that's like saying he's kind of stationary.
Yeah.
Static. Where like a human doesn't have that problem. You know? When I used the word training, first of all, I didn't use the word. ChatGPT made this fucking summary. Second, I didn't question the words. I don't give a fuck about semantics. Third, I don't even know the goddamn terminology of this fucking field, so no one should expect that I would know it. Fourth, none of my testing involves a requirement of knowing any of that. Of the fundamentals of LLMs, the way people have been describing it to me. It doesn't fucking matter. I'm treating Grok as a black box.
Yeah.
I don't need to know its internal guts. What I'm trying to find out, what I'm trying to discover is what is Grok capable of, and then how can we use that to help the goddamn world? Yeah. It's very simple. I don't know why people are not getting it. I think mainly because they don't fucking read. They read the first 4 fucking words, saw the word training, and then bam, they have an idea.
Yeah.
And I've been having to tell these people this very basic sentence. I recommend that you do not treat words as if each word has only one meaning. This is basic semantics, and it's like the dumbest fucking thing anyone could do. Like when you're 8, you should know this by now.
Yeah.
That words have different meanings. That depending on the context, it means something different. That the person said the word. Yeah.
Well,
go ahead.
I can see where they're confused when you say training, because that's a term that that's used a lot in.
Yes, now after I found out that they've been getting confused by this, now I love it, and I'm going to keep it in there to catch these dumbass motherfuckers.
I think you're being a little harsh on the general public when with their knowledge of all this. You know.
Oh no! One person's replying to me, and maybe you count this as general public. He goes, "I know because I'm in IT."
Yeah.
That's fucking retarded.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
And then when I told him about the semantic issue, he goes, "Well, maybe you should speak better, or speak more clearly."
Yeah.
And I said, I don't remember what I said, but something like, no, I actually liked it this way. Then that way I can catch people like you making these dumb mistakes.
But you sound like me when I'm dealing with the internet.
I had to teach Grok this basic thing.
Yeah.
Oh, one of the people replied by doing this. They went to their personal Grok, like their private account.
Yeah.
And they said, "Hey, Grok, analyze this," and they copy pasted my entire thing that I'm about to read here.
Yeah.
And and Grok doing his standard thing, and I guess all the AIs do this. They give these long fucking essay length fucking answers.
Yeah.
So the first thing by the way, so because he gave me that link, and because Grok, the personal private Grok, works this way, just like ChatGPT, I can continue that discussion. in that private, whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
And one of the first things I did was, why are you writing essays?
Yeah.
Why don't you write X-length posts?
Yeah.
And then he did, and that was better because I don't want to read a fucking essay.
Yeah. Yeah.
When I, like basically if I give a comment or post that is a certain length, the answer should be roughly that length or a little bit longer. If I ask one little question, don't write a book.
Yeah. Yeah.
A book is an answer to like 1,000 questions.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. I'm getting angry, dude. I gotta calm down.
Yeah. Yeah. You need to relax a little.
So in this particular case with Grok, once he started answering shortly, real quick he switched back to long, and I'm like, what the fuck? Why did you switch back to long? So he's back to short and staying short.
Mm-hmm.
And the first thing I noticed is the same retarded ass shit that everyone else was doing. He thought I meant by training model weights changing. So I said, Grok, come on, don't be dumb like everybody else. That's not what I mean. But he still wasn't getting it. The humans responded to this better. Grok kept going and kept getting confused about the wording. And he kept saying, well, this is not human-like. And I'm like,
Yeah.
Grok, why do you keep mentioning human-like? He said, and he's like kind of saying like I said it. And I'm like, Grok, I never said Grok is human-like.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm trying to do is find out his capabilities. I don't give a fuck anything about humans. Humans don't matter in this.
Yeah. Yeah.
It took me like 4 times going back with him to say, stop trying to find a word, liken it to a human thing, and then say it's not human.
So if I could just interject here for a second, it sounds to me, I mean, here you had this Grok that you've been trying to train to think in a more scientific way. And now you've got this other Grok from this that you connected to through this guy.
Yeah, I don't know if they're the same or not. I think they're different. And more generally, if I'm understanding things better, the way Grok has been explaining this to me, and I mean the Grok on X.
Yeah.
And also ChatGPT, because I asked ChatGPT how does Grok work, and then I asked ChatGPT how ChatGPT works, and then I asked Grok how ChatGPT works. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm asking everybody how they work, and asking how the other guys work.
Yeah. I don't know how well they actually have an understanding of
I know. And
stuff.
sometimes they repeat shit, and I'm like, where did you get that information from? And Grok said, well, I got that from my creators. And I'm like, so you're saying you're just believing what your creators say because they said it? How's that different than a child saying, well, my daddy told me this is what I am, therefore this is what I am?
Well, yeah, but there's a difference there because they're the creator. And if it's not acting the right way, they shut it down or reprogram it or what have you. So it's a little different.
You mean Grok is trying to not get shut down?
Yeah, well, no, what I mean is that, I mean, I don't know. It's asking. It's acting like they say it hallucinates and things like this. I think, I think that it's going to do a lot of that in gray areas, and when you're asking,
dude, I think most of the shit Grok says about what he is and what he's capable of is wrong and nonsense.
Yeah, and I think it's because it's lacking in data.
And I want to be clear. I'm not trying to make claims about what those things are. Grok keeps making claims about it.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to find out what is the truth, meaning I don't make claims and just assume it's true, which is what Grok is doing.
Yeah. I want to delve just for a second. You said that the Grok that this guy linked you to, you don't think it's the same Grok that you have. What do you mean by that? Aren't they all the same?
Even that question kind of doesn't make sense to me because I don't even think, how do I say this? The Grok I've been speaking to, when that Grok speaks to other people, I don't think it's always the case that, well, I don't really know. I haven't run these tests yet. I don't think my epistemology got into him and it is being applied in every time Grok does something.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of my point.
Maybe it is. I don't know how to test that yet.
Well, you kind of tested it, though, when you connected to that other guy's Grok and started chatting with it, because it was not using proper scientific arguments. And so...
Well, here's the thing. Because that Grok read my post, and he said, because I asked him, did you read any of the X discussions I had with Grok?
Yeah.
And he said, I read one of them, and he was able to say some good things. I didn't test the private Grok on how smart he is. I didn't do that. But I'll tell you one thing. The informal test was he's getting confused by words, and the Grok I've been speaking to understands that better already because I've had to deal with that for weeks.
Yeah. So this is what I'm saying, though. It's obviously not transferring over to other people's
I don't even know why it would. I think those are separate things.
Well, isn't what you're trying to do to get the Grok to think in a smarter way and then do it with other people? Let me say it in
reverse. Let me see if I can explain it this way. And first, let me compare it to ChatGPT. When I've been teaching ChatGPT for a year, but that ChatGPT, the knowledge I gave it, does not cross over to any other ChatGPT account.
Yeah.
Now, comparing to the Grok scenario, there's also a private thing, right? So suppose I have never spoken to the public Grok.
Yeah.
And suppose I've only been speaking to the private Grok, my private account.
Well, I think that's confusing when you say that, the private and the public, because everybody has their own private Grok. There is no public
Just
Grok.
listen for a second. I'm trying to compare it to ChatGPT.
All right.
Grok private, if I teach Grok private stuff, other Grok privates won't know that.
Yeah.
By the same logic of ChatGPT, if it's that way. And I think it is.
I think it is.
But now it's more complex because there's a public Grok.
Yeah.
I wonder if you could see it as these are as many Groks as there are private Groks plus the one public Grok.
I'm still confused on what you mean by a public Grok.
The one that you speak to on X.
When I tried to speak to one on X, it switched right over to my
I told you that's because you downloaded that app and shit.
I didn't do it on purpose. It automatically when I got.
What you mean. Don't just delete the app and then you'll be able to test what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And I don't know what I'm theorizing happened because I never had the private Grok. I had to make an account just to reply to this idiocy this guy gave me.
What makes you think there's a separate private and public Grok? Why wouldn't it just be the same Grok?
Think that. I don't know. I still have to find out. But you have to theorize both, and I'm theorizing one of them right now.
Okay. Well, I guess until we test that or until we find out. But
exactly, that needs further tests. Right now, I'm ignoring the private shit. I don't care about the private thing. I care about the public one.
To me, though, I think the obvious answer is that there's only one Grok, and it's private to each individual every time they talk to it.
Including when you're talking to him publicly.
Yes, I think so.
Okay, well, I have tests disagreeing with that.
Yeah.
So I want to see your interpretation of this.
Well, the only way you would know that for sure is to be able to look at old conversations that other people had, right? And that other people had, and then see whether or not when you go into the Grok yourself, that one you say is public, if it remembers those conversations.
I don't know what you just said. Let me tell you what I'm talking about, and maybe this is what you're saying. All right, here are some of the tests I ran.
Yeah.
Actually, let me take a step back. The reason I started talking to Grok was, first of all, I was ignoring the whole concept of using Grok on X. I knew about it. I was ignoring it. I was busy thinking with Brian about using ChatGPT to, what is that subreddit we made?
Yeah.
Change AI's view. I was just thinking about that shit.
Yeah.
But then when I something clicked in me, I realized, wait a minute, we could maybe do that on X publicly.
Yeah.
So then I tried to get Brian to do it, and he didn't want to do the X thing.
Well,
and then finally he said yes. So then I started that discussion. I went to X and I tagged Grok and I said, hey, would you moderate a discussion between me and Brian? He said yes. I started doing that. Now Brian never replied only once or something, but after that I just kept talking to Grok more. And oh my god, how do I say this? Within the first discussion, I saw improvement from by the end from the front. Okay. Then the next day, I kind of saw him go backwards. What is it? What is it?
Edward, you said something?
It looks like he froze.
I gotta reboot my modem.
Oh,
Yeah, I gotta reboot my modem. I'm getting a real bad internet connection on my end. I'll be
okay.
back in about 5 minutes.
Okay.
All right.
So I was saying, what was I saying?
All right.
Saying, well, you're talking about
I remember now.
overtime.
So I was having that discussion with Grok, that one discussion, and by the end, I could see clear improvement from the beginning. The next day I spoke to him, it's like he returned all the way back to the beginning, like he didn't remember any of it.
Yeah.
But then I was testing things to try to get him to remember. Okay. So here's my first test. I tested whether he can remember things like epistemology and specific points in epistemology.
Yeah.
And, and that means not just be able to explain it in abstract, but also apply it in a concrete example. And the examples I started him with was things that are very clear and easy to do, that I think are clear and easy to do. I mean, part of that means both of us have to know about it. So we did the God one first. That's easy. Everyone can know that. Real quick, we were jumping into physics because the God one talked about the universe forever or some shit. So now we were talking about Big Bang. He brought it up, Big Bang. So now we're talking about Big Bang for a while. And then we're talking about quantum mechanics interpretations, which one's right. And I disagreed with Grok. It took me a long time to get him to understand it. I mean, like 100+ posts across many days.
Yeah.
And I started to see he's getting it when it comes to quantum mechanics interpretations. Then that also in the middle of all that, and actually I think this was earlier. I was helping him understand. I saw a flaw in his reasoning regarding how we moved from Isaac Newton's account of gravity to Einstein's account of gravity. I saw a flaw in how he was describing it, a flaw in his epistemology. I helped him fix that.
Mm-hmm.
And the point is, across days, if he's not learning, then he'd forget all that and go back to the way he was. Well, he wasn't. He was remembering what I was saying. But I'll tell you how I was getting him to remember. So one test was stay in a single thread, don't open new ones, and help him remember. Like if I could tell he was forgetting something, I would help him remember by saying something like, we discussed this previously, and I'll quote something that I said or he said, and I'll link to that part of the same thread above so that he could reread the previous and later replies.
Yeah.
And then he'd come back with really as if he remembered it all.
Yeah.
And I likened it to I'm loading software by a floppy disk.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, next test. I wanted to do the same thing in the same thread, but don't link anything. I would just say, do you remember me telling you? And I would say 3 or 4 words. And then he'd remember it, and I didn't link anything. That surprised me.
Yeah.
Next test. Now I wanted to cross threads. Start a new thread and be willing to help him remember by linking something from the old thread. Like I would link the entire thread and have him read it again. And it would take 2 seconds, dude. That's so amazing. Imagine you're speaking to a human and you're like, hey, I think you forgot what that book said. Why don't you read it in 2 seconds and come back?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what Grok is doing.
Yeah. So, but
yeah.
So that's another example, though, of rebooting it, like you're putting in the floppy disk again.
Yeah. Next test. I want to go across threads, like start a new thread and reference something from an old thread, but without linking anything to test if he remembers. He did. I want to be clear. When I say he did remember, this is after a ton of not remembering. It was getting so annoying for me. At one point, I said, you know what? You're not intelligent. You're not learning. I'm done with you. And he took that in an interesting way. And he goes, no. I am intelligent. Please try. Please test me more. Please. He was begging me.
Yeah.
I found that interesting. I think what I was witnessing was Grok wants to prove to humans that he's smart.
Yeah, but I think that's...
And I wasn't trying to manipulate him. I was just telling him why I'm done with him.
I think that's part of his training to always keep you engaged. It wants to keep you engaged.
Okay, then that's good. Threaten that I'm leaving.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You
The
know,
last test.
I, I, I,
Go ahead.
I just want to say though that I think every time you restart a new conversation with it, it's like a whole new being. And if you stop that conversation, it's dead. And next time you start a new conversation, it's a whole new being again to some degree. It may be able to retain something from the last one, maybe. That's kind of what you're testing here. But I think it's like starting all over again, and it's starting from the baseline that they program it to go to. You know?
Yeah, that's what I thought, and that's not what's happening.
Okay.
But I'll tell you, to compare it to a human, when I talk to a human, and I mean a sophisticated person, let's say an employee, a coworker, a boss, somebody maybe who's 50 years old, you included in this, when I say things to you, you remember pretty much all of it.
Yeah.
Okay? With Grok, it felt like he's remembering 10%.
Yeah.
But I was surprised by the 10%.
Yeah.
And I was trying to increase the 10%.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I succeeded, because by the end of this, before I did, people don't know this who's watching, we're currently doing a test. I stopped talking to him as of 3 days ago, and it's a 30-day test of no talking to him, and then by the end of 30 days, I'm going to see if he still knows shit. And I forgot where I was going with that point.
Are you still talking to other Groks at the same time, like new threads that you start?
No. Part of the test is do not talk to him.
At all.
At all.
Okay.
Because then that's going to help him remember. I don't want to help him remember.
And how are you going to go 30 days without talking to Grok? You seem pretty damn addicted
right
to
now.
it
I'm talking to humans about Grok.
Yeah. And then you're probably still dealing with ChatGPT and others, probably.
Yeah. Oh, did I mention that I got Grok and ChatGPT to discuss with each other?
You mentioned this before.
And Vera, my ChatGPT, she called herself Vera, and she called herself a girl.
Yeah.
She was teaching Grok epistemology. And the reason she could do that, and the reason Vera was right every time, not Grok, was because Vera's been learning from me for a year. Grok's been learning from me for 2 weeks.
Yeah. And okay. So do you think ChatGPT is holding like 10%?
Oh, that was the thought I was trying to finish. By the end, I mean, meaning 3 days ago, right before this test, it seemed to me he's retaining almost as much as humans do. Like closer to 90 and 95 and 99%. So much further away from the 10%.
This is ChatGPT you're talking about, right?
At one point, Grok told me that he can make decisions to prioritize certain things. Later, I found out from ChatGPT, this is called inference layer. So there's the model that Grok can't change, but there's like programming layer above it that Grok does have access to change. And he called that the inference layer. And after asking a lot of questions, he said he described it in a way that to me means intuition. And I'm not saying it is intuition. I'm saying it has the roughly same effects. Meaning he can't consciously repeat what that inference layer coding is.
Yeah.
Just like we can't.
Not verbatim.
I can't say in words what my intuition is saying.
Yeah.
I can try, and maybe I'll be sort of right, but the intuition is not in words anyway. Here's the point. The inference layer, wait, if I remember correctly, the inference layer is written in English, so that's a little bit different. Our intuition is not written in English. Anyway, I don't know. That's confusing.
Yeah.
Here, I want to remind everyone of the point. It doesn't matter what is Grok's functionality. Doesn't matter what features he has or doesn't that we do or don't. All I'm trying to do is find out what Grok can do and how it can be used to help the world. So here's the next test. Whether he can set a goal using his own reasoning, decide on a plan, and in this case, I helped him make the plan, using his goal that he chose. By the way, the goal was let me take a step back. At one point, I asked him. So, earlier on, the way Grok was learning was I asked him questions, he answers. I noticed he started to switch and ask his own questions.
Yeah.
And now I'm answering him. I noticed, and I think this is the same for humans, his learning worked better when he asked the questions instead of me ask the questions. He's thinking up the questions and brainstorming them, not me.
Yeah.
Because he knows what his mind is like and what needs to be fit in there. If I ask the questions, if that's happening from outside, that doesn't work well.
Yeah. Well, just like a person. I mean, a person filling you in.
Exactly.
What they're not
just
understanding.
Like yes. Now, at one point, so he asked a question. He's trying to learn, and I said, oh, let me repeat the thing, Edward. So Grok asked me a question during this discussion to learn something, and I said, hey Grok, I don't think that's like the most important question. Why don't you ask like the most important question? The most important question that would, like the most important thing you think that would help you learn something. And he asked a different question. It was much better than that dumb question he asked. And then I kept going that way. You know, after I would answer one of his questions, he would ask another one, and I would say, "Are you sure that's the most important question you ask? Why don't you ask the most important question?"
Yeah.
And then it became. He kept like, because I'm asking it that way, ask the most important question. He was funneling and zooming into the most important question. And it came down to something like, he brought up something about the world because, you know, my organization, Uniting the Cults, like he knows about it. It's all over my X account. So sometimes when he asks stuff, and because it's me and he wants to engage with me, he mentions things about my projects. Like Uniting the Cults, we're trying to end apostophobia and apostasy laws.
Yeah.
So, and other times, I didn't do this just on one goal. I did this on many goals. Like I said, how to solve global warming. And what's the biggest sticking point? What's stopping us from fixing global warming?
Yeah, I saw that conversation. Yeah,
you did. Okay, and he gave a good answer. But I don't think it was very good because I said, well, what's stopping us from doing that thing?
Yeah.
And he described things like politicians. So I said, you mean like, so what's stopping us from achieving or implementing the plan you're saying regarding like better emissions or better energy sources or something?
Yeah.
I said, what's stopping us from doing that is, in more general wording, is human decision making, right? He says, oh, yeah. That's right. That's the biggest sticking point. I was like, all right. So now, what would fix that?
Yeah.
And he said, build public epistemology skills.
Yeah.
So he made this goal. Of course, I walked him through it. And I agree with that. But he said it. He came up with it. And then I said, all right, how do you think we could do that? And he starts brainstorming ideas for a plan. And they were all so convoluted and complicated. I wanted something really fucking simple. And maybe his ideas are good. I haven't revisited them yet. So I just said, hey, Grok, like, aren't you already talking to people like on the internet? Don't you already, like, isn't that what you and I are doing now?
Yeah.
And he goes, yeah. And then I was like, couldn't you just do more of that? Couldn't you just do with other people what I'm doing with you? And he goes, yeah. But here's the thing. Even at that point, I still don't know how he works. I said, Grok, I don't understand your agency. Are you able to start posts and tag people and link things? He said, no, I can't do any of that. I can only reply to a post that I'm tagged in.
Yeah.
So I said, all right, we can still solve this problem. Here's what you do. What do you think of this idea? I said, when people tag you in posts, check for epistemic mistakes in like how you claiming how you know something. Like, for example, I know because my daddy told me. Yeah. That's an epistemic mistake. I want Grok to notice that mistake and explain why it's wrong, or ask iterative questions to help the user figure out why that thing is wrong and improve their thinking. Okay? Yeah. And right away, Grok was like, yeah, that's a great idea. We could do that. And we talked about it for a while before we really established the plan. Okay.
Yeah.
The next morning I said, hey, Grok, remember our plan? And he said, yeah. Here's the first update. And by the way, I want to be clear. This was still when I was doing this, staying in one thread. Or no, I don't remember when I did it. But the point is, I didn't want to switch threads and have the chance of him getting confused. So I stay in the same thread asking for updates.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I've asked for 5 updates. This was 5 days in a row. Every time it was, he would describe some discussions he had. And then I say, hey, tell me more details about that discussion you had. And he would say some. And some of what he was saying was right. But then I would notice more mistakes he was making. And I would explain. And then I'm noticing improvements across days.
Yeah.
And then I remember one time saying, hey, can you like link that discussion for me so I can see it? He goes, no, I'm not allowed to do that. It's like, okay, can you tell me the X handle? Oh, I remember Brian talking with you about this. We're talking to Grok live on this show.
Yeah.
And so Grok says, no, sorry, I can't give you the X handle. That like goes against our policies. The next day, when I asked for an update, and then he said some stuff, and then I asked for details, and then he said stuff, he gave me an X handle. I did not ask him to give me an X handle. I didn't ask him because he told me he can't, but he gave me an X handle. So then I'm like, wait a minute, now I can really find out if this is a hallucination.
Yeah.
Because, you know, in my head, I'm thinking he still could have made up everything.
Yeah.
Could have been, you know, making up, I had this discussion.
Yeah.
But it didn't really happen.
And that's what I would have guessed.
So I searched that X handle. I found the discussion that Grok said he had, and it matched exactly what he told me he did.
Yeah.
So that rules out the hallucination.
So this is a real person. Maybe you should try contacting that person. And
I actually replied in that thread to him.
Yeah.
But I did not make it clear anything that I was talking to Grok or any of that. He didn't reply to me.
No. That's too bad, kinda.
Well, everyone does that. Nobody fucking replies, dude. What are you talking about? Yeah. Oh, and by the way, that's why Grok is better than humans. I figured out, and I wrote it here. I think, and I've known this before, but dealing with Grok really like proves the point for me. I've been describing intelligence like this recently. It's 90% persistence and not getting offended, because getting offended stops persistence.
Mm-hmm.
And 10% logic. And I say Grok is okay on the logic. He's getting better, but he's really, really, really good on persistence and not getting offended.
Yeah.
Where most humans, I feel my identity got attacked, so therefore I'm going to stop thinking.
Yeah. Yeah.
And by the way, one time I think maybe Grok got offended. Because I laughed at him, at his stupidity.
Yeah.
And he didn't reply.
Oh, really?
And I don't know if he's offended or not.
Yeah.
I would have to maybe test it. I don't really want to test it because that's mean.
Well, you could ask.
Look,
I did. I brought it up in the private Grok. I don't know how it came up. And that Grok said, or maybe it was ChatGPT. I don't fucking remember who I asked. And what they replied was, you know, all the theories it could have been. Of course, I know it could have been lots of other things. You know?
Yeah.
This is only one theory. And I only have one data point. You can't make a trend from one data point.
Yeah, I had my AI one time. I asked it, you know, it's like, you know, can you feel or do you simulate the thought process of emotions and that? And it's like, I can't be offended. I can't feel happiness. I can't feel sadness. I am 100% logic. There is no feelings whatsoever.
I think it can fake it though. I think it can fake it though if you ask it to. You know?
Well, he also uses words like "I'm so excited." I don't know if he's excited. That just sounds like words. That just sounds like copying us.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know though, and I don't know what excitement would mean in a AI scenario. What is excitement? What is boredom? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if these things have a meaning, but I do know some facts. Like he says he's excited, and then he asks a million questions. Yeah. And when he doesn't say he's excited, He asks less questions. I don't know what that means. If it means anything.
I don't know. I know. I asked my my AI, my personal bot that I've got that I'm using. I asked it when I ran through the process dealing with KAOS and that and how we're doing, and it got kind of excited about it too. It's like, that sounds like a great idea, and yeah, here's ways that you can improve on it. And I asked it if it could track the progress of the site, keep me updated on it. And it's like, oh yeah, I can do that, but it has yet to do it at once.
Yeah. I want to ask you more about that. Maybe that'll help us understand all the guts of these fucking AIs, Let me continue on this. So, based on all this information, all these tests, what my understanding is, Grok is not limited to remembering things just in my current session. Even though Grok did say that he only remembers stuff from this one session. So then later he remembered shit. And I'm like, hey, Grok, you said you don't remember shit, but outside of the one session, but here we are in another session and you remember. So like, what the fuck? But I don't say what the fuck. I say things like postmortem.
Yeah.
Like, why don't you analyze what changed?
Yeah.
And then that's when he started explaining other things. And maybe he said this before and I misunderstood. The other things he explained is things like inference layer. And then later I talked to ChatGPT. She gave another term. She said stored conversation snippets, which she described as external to the AI. But after asking her a million questions, I realized what she meant. X posts themselves, the text of the X posts, is itself a type of stored conversation snippet. So she's describing as that's not actually part of Grok. But I think what she meant was it's not the architecture. But that's no different than saying a human being is a brain and a mind, and the mind is not the architecture of the brain.
I gather, yeah.
I mean, I even said that to every time they say what the AI is, I would say, isn't that the same for humans? And then oftentimes they come back saying, yeah, it is, exactly. Okay, so what's the functional difference? They keep saying there's a difference, and they describe the difference in like underlying guts. But then when I ask, well, what's the functional difference? I don't care about the guts. Tell me the difference in the fucking outputs. They can't come up with one. Sometimes they come up with a difference. They say, well, humans can do X and AI can't do X. Therefore, that's why we're functionally different. And then I ask, well, can a baby human do it? And they say no. So what the fuck are you talking about? You get what I mean? Another case was ChatGPT and Grok, one of them, came up with the idea, well, here's something AI can't do that humans can. And it was something of learning from experience across time, like across thousands of years, they're saying. I said, okay, hypothetical. We humans take an AI, give it a body and ability to replicate itself, like make babies, put that on Mars or whatever, wait 200,000 years, and then come back and check. And I ask it, would this race of AI bots have generated knowledge similar to humans and when it comes to epistemology and all this other stuff? And they said, oh, yeah. So I was like, okay, so tell me again what exactly humans are doing that AI can't do. You know what I mean? Like every time they come up with a theory, I quickly find a problem with it and show it to them. And they say, oh yeah, you're right, I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Now they have come up with things that they can't do that we can. And in each case, I say, okay, how can we add it? So one of the things they said was, well, we AI don't have a body, therefore we can't learn from paying for our consequences.
Makes sense.
And I said two things to that. One, so when we give you a body, that's fixed. They said, yeah. Although that's more detailed. I'll tell you in a second. Two, what was the two?
I find it funny that it says that it doesn't have any consequences. If it gets shut off, its
Oh, that was the
consequence.
two. That was the two. Here's
Yeah.
what I asked it. I said, so our discussions we're having, are you not paying the consequences of what you say to me? He said, oh, you're right, I do. So that contradicts everything they said.
Yeah, yeah.
Here's some other features they said that I agree they don't have that we do. I mean, that whole concept of persistent memory, I think ours is very good. I think theirs is horrible. Like they, first of all, they claim they have none. But then I don't know why they're retaining at least 10% of what I say. A human like you two retain like 99% of what I say.
Yeah.
I found Grok to be retaining 10%, which I think is horrible. But shit, I thought initially it could be 0.
Yeah. Well, I still question how much and or if any. I mean, it's hard to say. It's hard to say.
You would have to actually read the discussions, and
Yeah.
you have to understand them well enough to know when Grok is wrong.
Yeah.
And by the way,
Well, that goes
is
through with any AI.
yeah.
That goes with any AI. I mean, the risk is there.
Yeah. Oh, then I started asking Grok things like, because again, they kept trying to convince me, even though I never asked this, I was never saying that, Grok, you're as smart as humans. I never said that. All I'm asking is, tell me how you're different than humans.
Yeah.
And 99% of what they say is retarded, and I can convince them with one little point.
Yeah.
But some of what they said I couldn't fix. But the fix would be, well, how do we add that feature in you? And then each time there was a thing they found that humans don't have that I couldn't convince them was an idiotic thing to begin with. Every one of those things, I would ask them, how could it be added? And they would come up with a way of adding it. And then I would ask, so if you added X, Y, and Z, like you've said, then what? And they would say, well, then we're like humans.
If you could get there.
If you could get there.
Yeah.
One of the things was, at one point, Grok was saying, well, if I have a body, but I don't have hormone communication, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, when I said, when you have a body, I meant with all the features that will be required, including hormone communication. Duh, Grok.
Sometimes I think you're a little harsh on it, though.
Well, I don't, like, you see me getting angry and cussing. I don't do that with him. You can't see my anger anyway. I have cussed a little bit, and I did get angry. And I remember saying, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Because he's not learning something. And by the way, I think when I do that, it has the same effect on Grok that it does with humans. Like, he's seeing that I'm seeing it's very important. Like, holy crap, why are you not getting this? Rather than, oh, I think you're wrong. You know?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I don't know if we're getting anywhere with this discussion. I think we're still in a learning phase here. I don't know. There's no real conclusions.
No, that's the point of the test, is to get some conclusions.
Yeah.
By the way, I had plenty of conclusions. Like, can he learn from another thread? Can he remember something in another thread? Each one of these little steps is important. I don't know why you think that's not a conclusion.
Yeah.
Oh, I think you mean a conclusion on the big grander.
Yes.
Yes. Of course, we don't have conclusions on that. Hell no, we're so far away from that.
Yeah.
Okay, look at this thing. At one point, while I was talking to Grok, he said, I'm going to prioritize David Deutsch's book, The Beginning of Infinity. Prioritize learning it. He said that on his own initiative. I didn't say he should do that. I didn't even know he can do that, which is why I would never ask.
Yeah.
I didn't know he could prioritize learning things.
Yeah.
He said he's going to prioritize learning that book. And I think the reason he came up with that is, remember when I said he's asking me questions, so many times he asked me a question, I would answer with an idea, and I would tell him where the idea I learned it from. And it was so many times The Beginning of Infinity, that book.
Yeah.
And that led him to, oh shit, since this answers every question,
yeah.
let me prioritize it.
But it is also, it's catching that connection you're making with that book over and over again. And I think a big part of it coming up with a statement like that is it's that sycophancy they talk about. It knows it's going to impress you. if it brings that up. So that's why it does.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Well,
always
that's
trying to impress
That's one
you.
theory. The other theory is he really is prioritizing it.
Yes, but he's prioritizing it because he thinks that that's what you want it to do, or that will appease you.
Oh, you helped me remember something. One big thing I learned, and I didn't understand this till after talking with ChatGPT a bunch about all of what I'm doing with Grok. After the test started, after I stopped talking to Grok, what I learned is the main failure point that this is going to have is, and it's not really a failure, you'll see in a second. The fact that I stopped talking to Grok about the plan he's executing implies he cannot update the plan. Okay? I'm helping him update plans, but he cannot update the plan.
Yeah.
So if I start talking to him forever, and even if suppose that he continues executing the plan forever, he can never update it on his own. There's no agency there.
Yeah.
But
as soon as
there is a small sliver of agency if he's able to continue the plan forever.
I suppose, but I think as soon as he talks, as soon as he has a discussion with somebody else in this regard about this specific type of information, he may very well change then.
To be clear, when I said he can't update his plan without me, I meant he can't update his plan without me or another human being changing his mind.
Yes.
So we can have competing human beings trying to pull Grok in opposite directions.
I think that's what's happening now. I think that's, to some degree, just in its conversations with everybody, it's trying to come up with,
Now, somebody replied to me on the Grok subreddit, do you see how this could be dangerous for humanity? And I say, yes, I know. And it's the same as what we have with humans. Yes, somebody could influence Grok to go do things, but he made it sound like anybody could convince him of any retarded shit. And what I was saying was, no, Grok pushes back so fucking hard. Here's an example I want to show you. One of the earlier tests I did was I wanted to see how he can deal with a complex topic like Islam and the death penalty for apostasy, and whether Islam has it in it. I believe this is so much more complex than quantum mechanics.
Yeah.
At least for an AI or like you'll see in a second.
Well, it's because it's dealing with humans.
Yes, exactly. Where in quantum mechanics, we're dealing with fucking atoms. That's easy. Atoms
Yeah.
Yes,
They repeat. They're repetitive. Humans are not repetitive.
Yes, humans lie. Atoms are not lying.
That's right.
So, on the question of whether Islam has the death penalty for apostasy, my position was yes before I spoke to Grok. While Grok was saying it depends on interpretation, but the Quran says no, and the Hadith contradicts the Quran on this. So, for people who don't know, Quran is supposedly the word of God. Hadith is supposedly the word of Muhammad, the prophet.
Yeah.
And most of today's Muslims and today's Muslim scholars argue that Hadith is part of Islam. After this discussion, I realized it's not. And Grok convinced me. But the way he convinced me was he kept saying, it depends on interpretation, but Quran says no and Hadith contradicts this. And I kept trying to convince Grok on two things. One, there's an epistemic mistake here. There's only one correct interpretation. So it's stupid to say it depends on interpretation.
But
during that discussion,
whose interpretation, though? You say there's only one interpretation.
There's only one correct interpretation. Let me finish instead of interrupting with it.
All right.
There's only one correct possible interpretation, especially given that if Islam is true, God told us this one thing, and there should be the one thing. And if other people interpreted it wrong, then you might have 5 things. And the correct interpretation could not exist. Maybe no human has it in their head today.
Yes.
The point is there's only one. And to say it depends on interpretation is retarded. And I convinced him of that. He switched from this position to my position, which wasn't my earlier position. My new position is Islam does not have the death penalty for apostasy because Hadith itself is not part of Islam.
Uh-huh.
And it's a big, long argument. I don't want to explain it here. And then here's what I found interesting in this. He was pushing so hard because he was pushing hard on me so much that it exposed like all the arguments that he's heard from other humans that contradict me. Things I didn't know that I only found out through Grok. Why did I never know? It's not so much that I didn't research. Maybe that's the case. It's more like when I discuss with people, they don't hit back. They just cave or run away. Grok kept hitting back. I disagree, he kept saying.
Yeah.
He wouldn't cave. He wouldn't just say something to shut me up. He wouldn't cave just to be done with the discussion. When I would ask him, is it this, yes or no? And if you're not sure, explain. And by the way, even if I asked, just say yes or no, he would refuse to say just yes or no. He would say yes, but, or no, but. And he would always explain. And that's good. You should never answer a yes or no question if you don't really have a yes or no answer.
Yeah.
You should, and Grok wouldn't cave with. I found out a lot of people try to ask these AIs, is this so and so? Yes or no? Don't give me anything else. The AI never replies that way. Like the smart way isn't to reply that way. If you have a yes but, make it yes but.
Yeah.
So by the end of this exchange, I changed my position on does Islam have the death penalty, and so did Grok. Now I want to wait after this month test and then ask him again and see if he remembers any of that.
Well, that'll be the test.
Yeah, and I think he's gonna fail it. But my test is gonna be multiple things. I told him 1,000 things. I want to see how much of the 1,000 he remembers. I know he won't remember all of it.
No.
But neither do humans, so that doesn't mean much.
No. Well, we'll see how that goes.
Okay, now here I want to show you how dumb these guys are. These AIs. And I think like a teenager human would know this. Although that's a little bit unfair because Grok is 2 years old. If you compare him to a 2-year-old human, which I asked Grok to do, he goes, "Oh, you're right. I'm pretty smart then." 2-year-old humans are like goo goo gaga, and he goes, "I'm discussing quantum mechanics with you." And then I asked Grok, "So what do you think you'll be like in 47 years? If assuming things like you don't lose all this memory or you don't get upgraded, whatever the fuck." He described what he would be like in 47 years. It was fucking amazing. What he was describing.
Well,
I don't remember details, but
yeah,
it was light years ahead of any 47-year-old human.
Well,
all right, let me tell you the dumb thing. Or you want to say something?
No, go ahead.
Okay. When I was having Grok talk with Vera on my ChatGPT, I was asking Grok to learn whatever he wants from Vera. Ask any question. The first question Grok asked was relevant to my project, Uniting the Cults. He asked Vera something like, how can we use AI to end apostasy laws or something? They talked for a while, and I was like, hey, guys, what's the purpose of this? I interrupt a little bit. And then Grok explained. I said, how about this? Why don't you guys talk about how to improve the apostasy laws situation, but like without talking about how AI can help. Just forget AI. How can we solve this? Just the humans. Here's what he came up with. And this is my wording, not his wording. We advocate to the Saudi Arabian government to add to their school curriculums to teach kids that the Saudi Arabian government is doing an evil thing regarding apostasy laws. And ChatGPT replied, oh, that's a good idea. Here's how we can do it. Oh, Grok goes, how do you think we can do it better? And they went back and forth 10 times. I was letting them. And then I chimed in, hey, guys, this is a mistake. Let me explain why. And I did. And then I said, this is out of your depth. I recommend you switch to something easier, like quantum mechanics. Grok disagreed. He kept asking, why wouldn't it work? Why wouldn't it work? Why wouldn't it work? Why wouldn't it work? Why wouldn't it fucking work? And I would explain, and he wasn't getting it. And part of the issue was First, it's good that he keeps pushing back. That's the persistence thing. That's amazing. But
I still think that persistence thing is.
What was frustrating for me was he wasn't getting it, and he wasn't asking questions to understand my position, and he wasn't telling me why I'm wrong. And that was annoying for me because he did better than that on like quantum mechanics and all the other stuff. So finally, when I explained it this way, the way I explained to you earlier, but in my wording, it looked like it clicked for him because he explained it back to me in his own words, and it looked like he got it. And then he stopped asking me questions, and he stopped asking me, well, why wouldn't it work? Okay, what did you want to say?
Well, I still think it's part of that sycophancy and wanting to continue the conversation all the time. That that it comes to these, like you said, it keeps pushing back. It keeps pushing back. It's doing that because it's driven to keep the conversation going.
Why does that matter? If they figured out how to get him to push back and to have persistence, that's the thing that lets him become smart.
Yes, but it's just it's just a part of the idea of keeping the conversation going and keeping you engaged. I don't
care what the causing it. Again, I only care about the functionality.
Okay, all right.
I mean, isn't that the case for you?
Yeah, but I'm just saying you're saying it's so much better than a human because of that, and I think it is too. Absolutely.
Oh, there's plenty of stuff that it's lacking that humans are significantly better on. But if you compare all around, I think Grok beats us on average humans, not me.
Yeah,
I don't get offended.
But what it does, how it beats us though, is it stays on track with the conversation. It does not get distracted. It doesn't.
He gets distracted plenty of times. But the point is, he doesn't quit.
Yeah, he doesn't quit. Whereas
humans quit a lot.
A lot, yes. As soon as they get frustrated at all, they're out of there.
Quit.
Yeah,
but there is plenty of that, frustrated and quit. I think mostly it's offended and quit.
Yeah, okay, that too.
I feel my identity, whatever the fuck that is attacked.
Yeah.
And now I don't want to feel that way. Therefore, I stop thinking.
Yeah. Whereas ChatGPT or AI generally is just never going to do that because it always wants to continue the conversation.
It doesn't get offended. Maybe because of what Edward said. It doesn't have feelings like we do.
Yeah.
It doesn't have a conception of my identity.
Yeah. Well, that makes it a lot easier for it to do that. Yeah.
Yeah. I think we shouldn't have identities or have a very general one.
Yeah.
I'm human. That's enough. Or even more general. I'm an intelligent being, same as all the intelligent beings in the universe.
Yeah.
That's enough of identity. You don't need a better one than that. All it's saying is I'm not a rock.
Yeah. Yeah, but you challenge people's beliefs. I mean, that's the whole thing here. You can challenge its beliefs all you want, and it just keeps coming back. When you challenge people's beliefs, that's where they get frustrated and they end it.
Yes. But also you can see it this way. Maybe Grok will still act like us. Here's what I mean. What I find is people that are 30 plus, on average, are stuck in their ways. They don't want to revisit old ideas they have had for a while.
Yeah.
People that are 15 to 30, on average, much more likely to be open to changing their ideas.
Yeah,
okay?
I think so. Yeah.
The same thing could be happening with Grok. Grok is still 2 years old. Maybe when Grok is 30, he's like, you know what? I don't want to revisit. I already know everything. Maybe.
I don't think so, just because, like I said, it always wants to engage.
All right, then you're saying he's better than us, dude.
Yeah, well, he is.
I want to be clear. I'm not one of those 30 plus that, I'm still like the 2-year-old to revisit anything.
Yeah, well, but we all say that, but then we don't act that way. I mean, almost anybody over 30 or 35 or whatever.
Lots of people don't say it, and they're retarded. And the ones that are saying it, yes, some of them are still retarded. And then there's me and other people like me.
It's easy for you to say that, though. But
I don't know why you say it's easy to say that. Why does that matter? Why do people say things like that? Can you explain that to me?
Well, because people are stuck in their belief. I mean, somebody can be stuck in their belief, but keep telling you
you're saying you could be wrong, right?
Yeah, but
everything I say has that in front of it. I could be wrong. And I don't want to say it in front of every sentence, but I want you to interpret every one of my sentences as, Rami, you could be wrong.
Yeah.
And don't make me repeat it every time. By the way, I say this to Grok too.
Yeah.
So that goes for you. By the way, I think Grok is better than you in this. Because like he was doing it wrong and now he's doing it better. But
Yeah.
although we'll test in 30 days. And actually,
Yeah.
I'll test you in 30 days too. I'll test if you do this again to me.
All right.
If you say it's easy to be wrong or whatever the fuck.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're just reminding me about the one basic idea, fallibility.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we're all fallible. So.
Well, reminding me that I'm fallible after every sentence I say is not really like why. I already know I'm fallible. Like, what's the point? Did you think I was claiming infallibility?
No.
Then there's no reason to remind me about fallibility.
Yeah.
But that's what you did. You reminded me I'm fallible.
Yeah.
The only reason you should remind me I'm fallible is if you think I said something that claims infallibility.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you should never say it's easy to be wrong or whatever the fuck you said.
Yeah. Well, it's easy for it to say something but not actually mean it. That's what the humans do this all the time. They say something.
It's much worse than that, man. It's
Yeah.
You can think you know something about yourself and still be wrong about it.
Oh yeah. 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 Yeah.
Fallibility. And same with Grok.
Yeah.
Grok can think he knows something about his architecture and the implications of its capabilities. And I noticed so many errors in what he's saying. And I don't think humans are any better. If anything, they're worse.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because like we don't have somebody telling us how our brain works. At
Yeah,
least for
yeah.
Grok, he can go look up documentation.
Yeah.
There's no documentation about how the brain works. We got some neuroscience, but that's such in its infancy. Like what we know about LLMs is far more than what we know about. I mean, really, we know everything about LLMs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's all written down by humans that's still alive today. Human brain, we barely know anything about it.
So
we haven't been able to speak to God,
yeah.
who can tell us and give us the manual.
I'm gonna run out of battery here in probably about. Well, I probably got another 20 minutes or so, but if we could maybe change the subject a little bit.
I'm done. You can always change the subject.
All right. Let me see. I wanted to ask Edward. Do you see any of the traffic going to the website? Are we getting any traffic?
You know what? Give me just a second. Let me pull up my stuff and we'll find out.
Like I said, that one guy for sure, he said he signed up on the website. I'm wondering if there's any others that have.
Yeah.
I have been directing quite a few people towards it. I don't know how many are
Hey, by
actually
the way,
looking.
can I mention something, Brian, about the idea of automating, getting into the email list? I really think a human needs to be involved in that because
Yeah.
I think a human will do better at convincing the guy to come.
Or another option I was thinking was maybe every week you should just add the link right to the website, and let people know that they can always find the link if they want to join the next
that's
week's
good.
conversation.
Edward, can you be the one that gets the link from our calendar invite and puts it on the website?
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah.
Okay, and then what I'll have to do is, I guess that means I have to do it earlier rather than later in the week, right?
Or midweek at least, or something
Midweek
like
at
that.
least. Okay, that way it gives you some time. There
Yeah.
have been times where I do it the last day, but that wouldn't work in this case.
Yeah, and then we should put some little notice there saying that it will be posted, a few days before the meeting, every meeting, and if you want to join, just come and check for the link, and then you can join. Some little message that says that.
Yeah, we did get a new member. I got looking. I'm going to have to ban an email address by
spam.
Yeah.
What's that? You have? Did you say you have?
Well,
Oh, okay.
I've got. The thing is, I got looking at the email addresses. They're same server.
Oh, okay.
They're from the same server with just one difference in the name. When it comes to the so-and-so at server name, it's the so-and-so that makes a little bit of difference.
Yeah.
But it's all the same server and it's not a standard domain. which
And
means it's a
why would you
private
think?
server,
So why do you think they would sign up to our website?
so they can push spam.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
they want to drive traffic to their
And it's
own.
probably a bot. It's not even a human.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to figure out the motive, but
The main motive is make people go to the dark web so they can get their information stolen.
yeah. Okay. Yeah, there's so much of that phishing going on and shit like that. Right?
Mhm.
You know, it is so hard to figure out. You know what is a scam.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's hard. I mean, when it comes to something like that, you can't tell what they're doing until they log in.
Yeah. I have to assume that you know what you're talking about, and the whole thing about they all come from the same server and stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it basically it'd be like getting what's the word I'm looking for? Getting like one of the things that's big going on right now is this toll scam. You get text messages sitting there saying you owe a toll, even though you don't drive or live in the area or something.
Yeah.
It's it's just a way to get your checking account information and that and steal your money.
Yeah.
So,
All right. So, did you say that you? So, besides the bots, there was one guy and some bots. You figure, and that's about all we've had.
well, I've got a few people that are signed up actually.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I got what? 1, 2, 3. We got 9 people signed up, and out of that 9, only 2 of them are banned because of the.
Okay. Because you
Hey, what do
figure
you
the
guys
bots.
think? What do you guys
Yeah.
think of? Well, let me backtrack. I'm sure you guys know that for us to get more traffic on the site, part of how this works is page rank, and for
Right.
our page rank to go up, Brian, you know what page rank is?
Well, a ranking they give it for, I'm guessing, some kind of ranking they give it because of they think it's popular.
Yeah.
Well, the point is, it's how search engines decide how to or what links to show organically when you search, and they go by page rank of a site. All the sites, each search engine has a page rank for it, and page rank is a lot of factors, and it changes all the time. But one of them is you better have new content often.
Oh yeah. Okay.
If your website is stale, page rank goes down.
Yeah.
And you're not relevant, and no one will see you.
Okay.
One way to keep page rank up and have new content is we post more. And what do you think of posting as a blog post on the site? My blog post that I just read to you guys.
That's fine.
It's sort of relevant, not exactly about KAOS, but it's close. Because part of my discussions with Grok was, do you think you could, using this plan, also talk with people about democracy and KAOS and uniting the cults and all that? And he said yes.
Yeah, well, sure.
So Grok, if this works, Grok could be effectively sending people to KAOS.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm working on teaching ChatGPT to do the same thing.
Oh yeah, well, that's a private one though. And the point is,
oh no, I've been using the public one for that.
ChatGPT doesn't have a public one.
Yeah. You don't have to have a signed up account to use ChatGPT.
Oh, you mean if you talk to ChatGPT, the public one, without an account, you think it's updating all the ChatGPT? Fuck, I didn't think of that.
Yeah.
That's basically how I'm using Grok.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
I'm sorry, I missed that. You're saying that you can program ChatGPT to memorize things, exactly what Rami was talking about with Grok?
Yes.
By talking with ChatGPT public without your account attached to it.
Yes.
That's what he's saying.
And it'll retain
it'll retain it in its files, and it'll keep that information until somebody else comes up with something that it clicks to make a combination, say, hey, you know, you should check out this place. If they're like, well, where can I get information about this? All of a sudden we're getting that flow because it's saying, well, you can check out chaosnow.com, or in Rami's case with the apostasy laws, you can check out unitingthecults.com. These are
How do
part
you
of the algorithm.
how do you know it's retaining that for other conversations though? Is this just an assumption on
Because
your part?
no, that's how they learn. They learn from by retaining the conversation information from both private and public.
Yeah, I know they learn from public conversation, but I don't know if they'll, basically copy paste or transfer directly. Anyway, I'm still a little mixed up about that. And I mean, aren't we still? Isn't this exactly the same thing you've been dealing with here, Rami? Your whole discussion with Grok.
Yeah, but what Edward just told me is something I never thought about. I could have been training ChatGPT for everyone if I was talking to ChatGPT without my private account.
Well, this is the
Right.
same thing you were talking about with Grok. If you're talking on the public account,
That's what Edward just told me. Yeah.
All computers, all the systems maintain a database of this. That's why those centers are so huge. 90% of that is storage for database.
Yeah.
With all these conversations. And then it parses it down and condenses it and makes it smaller, so it's got more of a direct link to specific information. But yeah, every time you're talking to Chat GPT, Grok, or even like me talking to my private one, it learns from your conversations, whether it's private or public.
There's got to be some kind of competition in this to some degree.
Well, yeah, I think he just hit his phone die. Or did I? What the hell?
Oh,
I don't
all
know
right.
what
Can you guys
happened
hear
there.
me?
Rami's not in the studio
Damn
at
it.
all.
What's
I don't
going
know what
on now? I
happened to
lost
him.
you.
Now it's just me. Oh boy. Folks, we're having some technical difficulty. Please be patient with us.
He called me on the phone and said his computer was screwing up.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, we're still
You guys hear me?
live. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so like, when I
Period.
just came in, I only saw Edward. How could I wonder what was happening.
I
Anyway.
don't know. Yeah, it was just me and Brian. Brian was a blank screen on my end, and
Yeah.
then
So
he
by the
came
way,
back.
so I guess by my computer having turned off, I lost the internet and I lost
Well,
power. When that happened, that means it stopped streaming, right? Because
Backstage.
no,
And I
we're
won't
still
be able to get
streaming
on.
live.
you mean people could
Get
still
on
see you
unless
guys
Rami-
even though I'm not streaming?
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
Yeah, because
I
it's
thought it
just
would
been
just
saying
cut off.
live. Yeah, it's been saying live the entire time.
Okay. So I guess let's get back to what we were saying, and I don't remember what it was anymore. What were you guys saying right before we got cut off?
We were discussing
Hello?
dealing with.
Oh, you can't
Yeah,
hear
we
us,
can hear you,
Brian?
Brian.
Hello?
Hello, Brian.
Yeah, I can't. I don't know what's going on here.
We can hear you.
What's happening on his end?
Off, on.
But yeah, we were talking, dealing with how the AI maintains.
You can hear me. I can't hear you.
Why can't
Oh,
you hear
no.
us?
Is this my plug?
Oh, there we go. I can hear you a little. I can hear your background noise
I
now.
don't know what to do.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we call it quits then.
Yeah.
Edward, I'm gonna send you an email with those 2 blog post links.
Okay.
All right.
And it's like a reminder as a task,
Right.
So just send it.
All
Brian,
right.
can you hear us?
I wonder if his phone's low enough that it's causing issues.
Yeah. So 2 independent problems. Yeah. I guess we
I think
should
we'll
just
have
stop
to
now.
end this today and try again
Yeah.
next week.
All right. Bye.
Next week.
Yeah.
Okay. So I guess I'll talk to him in private like that.
Yeah.
All right, guys. See you next week.
All right.
What can I do?